Okay guys, here we are back again, still working on this thing. In this video we're going to start to work on the centerpiece. Let's see, not this one, we did that one, and we're going to get to the bottom one last, but we're going to work on this center color break piece here. And if you look at the mouse that you've got, you'll see that there's like a little tower that sticks up off of it with a hole in it, and that's for the wheel. And so that is going to have to be a piece that we're going to build into this using the top piece as a kind of generator of curves that we're going to need. So let me show you what I'm talking about. First thing I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to change the appearance of this. I'm just going to remove that appearance because I don't need it right now and it's a little hard to look at. So alright, what I need to do here, first I'm noticing that there's this bump in the model, and it's okay, but it's off center to the cut that I made, and you know, it's kind of bothering me a little bit. Even though I think it's correct to the way that the mouse is built, I'm just not really feeling it. So I might want to just go back into the model and just kind of make a quickie adjustment on that. So remember that that thing was built off of a patch that we made using a surface, extruded surface, and so if we go back to the curve that's running that extruded surface and we just look normal too, we can actually make adjustments to this model all the way back here. And if everything's going according to plan, and we're really lucky, we should be able to watch the entire model rebuild itself after going even this far back to the design tree. So we're just going to wait here, and that looks good, and that looks good. There you go. Alright. This is why I love SolidWorks, guys, because you sit there, you're like, oh, I wish I had done that a little differently. Well, go back and change it. Let's save that. Actually, I feel pretty lucky that that worked, so alright. Okay, next up, what we're going to do, we're going to try to what we're going to try to do is make kind of a little inset that goes inside this hole. So we need to be able to copy this curvature here, and there's also curvature going across the way. All right, so as usual with this entire model, you know, we're really probably just going to build half the thing first. Okay, and I just want to give one more look at my actual model. Looks like it's straight, and none of you out there in the internet are going to know what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to go ahead and build this thing, and you can watch. Here we go. So I'll go to the side view, and I'm going to do something like this. Go to my right plane, and I'll grab a spline, and I'm going to go over to wireframe mode for a quick minute. And I think what I'll do is, without actually touching the model anywhere, I'm going to lay down a curve that's about that, and I'm going to kind of wiggle it into shape, get it pretty close in here. I got to be careful because I don't want to touch any edges of the model. See, the minute I touch the edge of that model, I'm going to get a coincident relation that's going to lock on, and I may forget that it's there, so I don't want that. But this rounded edge here, this is the fillet of the opening to that hole, so I know if I put this here, it'd be a good place to, and it is just tight in there. It's hard to avoid one of the other edges locking on. And then we'll do the same over here. Also important to recognize this here is the wall. Can't build through that, so we're going to need to build something like this maybe. Try that. And then this is the center of our line, so we just kind of want to can actually go up above it. I'll go halfway through the two and go like that. Okay. These I'll sort of adjust to kind of match the rest of the thing there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do that like that. Okay. And then what I think I'll do is I'll make a 3D curve, right? That's how we built this entire mouse. So if I want to make a 3D curve using this as the guide, I gotta go to my top view next and do the top view. I'll show you what we're gonna do here. Top plane look normal too, please. Thank you. Once again, we're going to use convert entities, and I'm going to, with a sketch turned on, I'm going to grab convert entities, and I'm going to edit this edge here and create a sketch out of it using the convert entities tool on the top plane. See, there it is. Okay, and just look normal too again. Keep myself organized. I've got to probably offset that away from the edge a little bit, so I'll go offset entities, and it always wants to jump 10 millimeters out. First I've got to reverse that, and I've got to set it to something much smaller. So here we go. This is a 1/4 millimeter away from the edge right here. So in order to kind of bring that into real life, I've got my calipers here, and I'm just going to open my calipers up to 0.25 to just look at that gap, because it's really hard to tell on my computer what 0.25 millimeters really is. So I think that's a really small little gap, and I'm going to leave it, and then when we get into key shot, we'll make the final decision on whether or not we need to go back and increase or decrease that. Let's just make sure we've got a couple of things checked with our offset entities, like you know, one is going to be, we want to have dimensions so we can edit it later, like I just said. We also want to have base geometry turn into construction geometry. That just means it's going to make the starting edge construction line instead of an actual editable line. And so there you go. All right. Now, next move for us is going to be to probably extend this out a little bit so that we can get over here and line it up with the curve we have sitting here. And those are going to be the things that are going to create our 3D curve. Okay. So let me actually just approve this sketch, and I guess what I'll do is I'll edit this guy, and I'll look at it, and I think it's time to start using some construction geometry, guys. So I'm going to just turn on my line tool and draw a line straight down, okay, past the origin. And I'm just kind of waiting to see that little yellow vertical line indicator pop up. I'll change this to construction line, and I'll do the same on the other side. I'll do my line tool. And if I haven't mentioned it already, you see how I'm working. I'm using the wheel of the mouse to zoom in and out on my model, and I just use my mouse as the pointer. So wherever I point my mouse, I zoom in with the wheel and zoom out same way. Okay. All right, so that's that. And let me also just, now that I've got that, I can kind of mess around a little bit more with this and make sure that I'm pretty close. Okay, there's that. Let's see what I got on this side. I got a little bit of a gap here. Let's just tighten that up. Okay. Good, good. Now what we can do, now we can go to this, and we can try to snap it to that edge, and it won't work. All right, and we're going to talk about why. Okay, so the reason that we can't edit this sketch here is because this is an offset sketch, and when you offset a sketch, you get offset sketch relations. Okay, they're right here. This is what they look like, offset. Now those sketch relations kind of hold this sketch in place, and they define it as offset. So that means when you try to grab it and wiggle it over here, it's not going to work because that wouldn't count as an offset. So you've got to actually remove these offset entities in order to have the ability to mess around with this sketch. So you can see how it turns blue like a regular spline that you draw. Well, there you go. Alright, so I'm going to look normal too. And I'm going to try real hard to snap this to this. There you go. Okay, and then I'll look normal too again to see what kind of damage I've done. There you go. Pretty good. All right, we're gonna take that, see how she looks. One criticism I may have is because we use the slot tool in this, or because we use the convert entities tool and stuff. We don't have any handles on here, so it's going to be a sort of a pointed edge, I think, and that may look bad in the end. We may need to come back and redo it, but it's just good to know it's maybe going to go that route. All right, so we're ready to do this thing again. We've been doing the whole time. It's a project curve, and we're going to go sketch on sketch. That sketch and this sketch are going to give us the perfect starting 3D curve that we need to fill that hole. And I got to make sure that my curves are on, and they are not, and that's why that sketch just disappeared. Turn it on. There she goes. Alright, and you can turn these sketches on and off one by one if you want, so if you don't want to look at some of them, stay focused on the one that you're working on. Alright. Okie dokie, so we're good. Everything's happening here. We've got the sketches that are driving the 3D curve. Okay. I'm going to actually just make a extruded surface in this center again off of the curve that we have spanning this gap, so that we can then set up another filled surface the same way we've been doing with everything. But I'll do it in a new way this time. I'll just go to the right plane and I'll start up a sketch on my right plane. And then I'm going to go to the sketch inside of the 3D curve here, sketch 43, and just highlight it. And then I'm going to go convert entities. And that's going to copy that curve out of the 3D sketch feature and create a new sketch in the sketch 45 that I made here. Okay. And then just while that's still active, I'll go ahead and just apply an extruded surface to it. And as usual, I gotta flip the direction. There she goes. Okay. And this is a fairly straight patch I have to make, so I'm not even gonna add any guide curves to it. And also I'm gonna cut a big hole out of it in the end anyway, so it doesn't need to be any sort of curvature dream come true. I'm just going to try to patch that hole. Come on. Better do what I want. Show preview. Doesn't want to do it? Boundary. Let's just try to approve it and see if it goes. Yeah. Huh. You want to show me a preview. It's slightly nerve-wracking. Surface fill. Show. Yeah. Okay. Something's up here. Hold on. Alright, I'm going to try it again like this. This edge and this. Alright. Curvature. Or yeah. Approve. Okay. And then I'm going to highlight that and see what's going on here. Surface extrude. Can I hide it? Yeah, that's what I meant to do. Okay, cool. Alright, so now I'm going to mirror that. And I'll use the mirror across the right plane. Bodies to mirror. This is it. Now we are officially surfacing with solid bodies in SolidWorks. Fun, huh? Let me hide my 3D sketches because I don't need them anymore. And we can also go ahead and hide this top portion of the model now at this point. We don't need to see that anymore. Because now what we're going to be doing is building this as a top piece that's going to go down into this one. Okay, so let's just do that. I'm going to go ahead and start up a sketch in the top plane. You know what I'll do? Let's try something else. That won't work. Never mind. Yeah, start up a sketch in the top plane. I'm going to use convert entities. And I'm going to convert the edges of this thing there we go to a sketch down there, and then I'm going to offset that out a little bit, like maybe 2 millimeters. Okay, and then I'm going to try something like this. Let's approve that, so we're good. And then let's try to do a lofted surface. That's going to go from here to here. Okie dokie. See what I'm doing here? See that? See that? There you go. All right. So now we can go ahead and intersect all this stuff together. We haven't talked about intersect yet. Here it comes. We're going to take this surface and try to intersect them. I'm just reading some of the options here. Create intersecting regions. You know, I haven't played around with this too much to know what these tools do. I'm just going to hit the button and see what happens. Okay, so when we turn on intersect, it starts asking you like regions to exclude, and you can select the parts of the model that you want to get rid of. Okay, so like I want to keep I don't want to get rid of those. Good, now I know. And I think that's it. So can I hit OK? Huh, this is not doing what I wanted. Play around with it a little bit and get back to you on that, I guess. Maybe one move would be to, instead of doing a surface loft, do an actual solid loft. That can help us. So I'm just going to go back to Lofted Boss Base, select this, which is a difficult selection to make. This does not really want to grab this surface. It's very segmented because we use that slot tool. I'm regretting that slot quite a bit. Come on. From there to there. It doesn't show up. Normally that means you had some sort of a misclick. Well, that's not going to work, so we're going to need a little bit more work on this thing. Let's try it again. Here we go. Why don't we do a, we'll go back to what was working, Lofted Surface. I got an idea. Here's one. Just like this, extruded cut. Using this, it's going to extrude up into the model. We can first try to go up to a surface, and we'll select this surface. Alright, and then we can do a lofted surface. Oh, and then we can use delete face to knock this thing back into the Stone Age. Take it back into surfaces. There we go. Just like we did on the top. And then we can go lofted surface real easy. Yeah, real easy. Hold on. SolidWorks doesn't want to select this thing as one whole unit, so I'm going to turn on the selection manager. Normally I'd be able to hit this button, it would select all the tangent edges. No, that's not what we want. We're going to have to do them one by one. Okay. And then we'll just go down to here. Oh, come now. Let's see. Let's do the same thing on the bottom. Here we go. Selection manager. Okay. There we go. At least we're getting there. All right. We've got a little bit of a twisted directional arrow, but that's what we're looking for. Okay. Voila. Call that like that. There we go. We can use a filled surface to patch the bottom. This is like the most annoying surface I've ever come across in all my days because it's segmented with the split and yeah, patch it. Boundaries open, cannot be patched. This is because it doesn't like that edge. 1, 2. It's really hard to get this edge. It doesn't want to play. Okay, contact is okay. Tangent would be fine in this scenario because this is not a visible patch. So this is what they call a Class B surface. It's not seen by the consumer. It's not an attractive surface to start with. So we can just get away with tangent. And so we'll just approve that. And then we can solidify this using the knit surface command again. And we are all set now. And we can just come at it from the top view finally, closing out this video with another slot tool. Let me just slide this thing into position if I can. It's hard for me to support the slot tool. It's very difficult to use. You go and just throw some dimensions on it so it does what I want. Okay, let's do 14. I mean, I'm gonna skip all the way to like 18 and see if that's what I want. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna escape, right click on it, and turn this into a block so that I can just grab it and move it easy really quick. There you go. All right, explode the block down at the bottom. Still not big enough. I'm gonna have to edit some more, but I want to shut this video down because I've been talking forever. It feels like I can't imagine. I'm just gonna say direction 1 is through all, and this direction, and don't forget the feature scope bit. Uncheck auto select and tell it to hit just this one now. Okay. And just so you can see kind of the fruits of your labor, just throw a different appearance on this one real quick so that when you turn the other bodies on, you can see what you've made. Okay. This is going to take some more finesse to get correct. All right. But you've made a surface that's coming off this bottom piece up to this top piece, and you've matched the curvature perfectly across there. Okay. So, like I said, this will take more work. But anyway, thanks for watching. Give that a shot. In the next video, we're going to perform the finesse I'm talking about, and we'll throw the wheel in there as well. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.